Hi everyone, Oliver Armstrong here. Many people ask me if it's possible to erase or wipe certain memories of people or events that have happened or that have existed in their life. Unfortunately, it's not possible. Memory does not work this way. The brain does not work this way. Memories are an important part of us. They shape who we are, who we've become, who we will become. They also keep us safe in the sense that our body has a prime directive, a prime goal, and that is survival. Most of the automatic responses that our body does is in order to survive. Our reactions, what we say, what we do, and these are based off a lot of the foundation memories which are learned in the imprint period of our childhood from 0 to 7 years old, typically. And these memories become learnings or wisdom that we carry forward, and we have learned something from each situation that we've been in, good or bad, so that we know to either go towards a situation like that or away from a situation if it was bad, of course. So when people want to erase the memories, I like to explain this, that it's there for a reason. Now, I also explain that if you could instead feel neutral about an event or a person from your life, that it could be just a memory. Like if you imagine or visualize or see in your mind your bathroom door, it probably doesn't make you feel any way in particular. There's no real emotion attached to it. It's just an image that you see in your mind, or a visualization or a picture. That is what you can do with past events, so that they become neutral. You become disconnected from them, so you can recall the image of the person, or you can recall the little movie that plays in your mind of that memory, and it has no emotional effect, no emotional impact on you. And because emotions determine thoughts and behaviors, when you have no emotional reaction to something, it determines ultimately what you will think and then your behavior or your reaction to that particular image or whatever it is you have recalled. So people want to wipe these memories from their brain for the main reason that when they recall them or when they visualize them or see them in their mind, it makes them feel a certain way. It makes them usually feel bad to varying degrees, depending, of course, on the memory, and depending on the person and their childhood and what they believe, and so many different factors, because the same situation for two people can be experienced in wildly different ways. It can affect one person to the point of, being some sort of post-traumatic stress. And for another person, that same event, they might shrug it off and it wasn't a problem for them, but everybody's different. But one thing that is quite common is this idea of wanting to wipe the memories. And when people can't, they will try all sorts of behaviors in order to get rid of these memories. Drinking alcohol, drugs, a lot of the too many behaviors, or rather too much behaviors, the too much drinking, too much eating, too much shopping, too much gambling, too much of this, too much of that, whatever it is. This is often how people cope in an attempt to drown out or to change or get rid of those feelings. Another common one with regards to relationships is people will often, if they've come from a particularly nasty relationship quite often, or if they've just been significantly emotionally affected by a relationship, they will quite often try and jump into another relationship to fill that void that is often left, to try and get rid of the dark cloud that's hanging over them all the time, or to try and to try and get rid of the negative feelings that they feel by replacing them with positive ones. Great idea, except there's one problem with it. When you make decisions based on how you are feeling, so when you make emotional decisions, they are more often than not not clear and don't include a lot of logic or reasoning. And often these decisions that we make when we are in a negative emotional state aren't always the best. For example, if you've just come out of an abusive relationship, or you've come out of a traumatic relationship, or you've come through, this applies really anywhere, so to any specific event, but particularly with relationships, then going from that point to trying to get rid of the feelings and emotions by trying to find that right person, the way that you feel from that past relationship that you've just left is going to determine what you think and therefore your reactions, because emotions determine thoughts and behaviors. So if you're feeling in a very dark place, you've got low confidence, low self-esteem, you are hurting, you've got anxiety, do you think the person that you're going to choose is going to, probably be the best person for you? Typically not. You when you feel that way and experience all of those things, your brain is filtering your world, your reality, through the way you feel. So to use the technical term, if you feel like shit, you're probably going to choose a shit person and they're going to treat you like shit. But if you change how you feel, if you resolve those emotions, if you change your feelings, because emotions determine thoughts and behaviors, when you change how you feel, the negative thought patterns automatically disappear. Much like your bathroom door. As I mentioned earlier, if you recall that, you don't really feel a certain way. Well, you probably don't think much of it as well. Well, it's just a door. That's probably it. Yet if that door had a significant emotional impact on you, you could have anxiety about the door. You could be woken up in the middle of the night about these powerful thoughts about your bathroom door that then you can't get back to sleep. And that causes you to avoid going near your bathroom door. So the emotion creates the thoughts, which creates the behaviors. So rather than going from a relationship that was bad for you and you're feeling you're in a bad place and trying to jump around into different relationships, trying to find, Mr. or Mrs. Right to make you feel better, to release you from all this negative energy and this horrible way of feeling. I've got news for you. Unfortunately, it's, it might work for some, but 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. You're going to choose probably another person that's going to treat you badly in some way. So really, the steps forward after a relationship that has been bad for you in whatever way, ideally is to resolve at the emotional level the issues that you have. So to change when you think about this person, if it makes you feel bad in some way, whether it's anxiety, whether you feel anger, disgust, resentment, whatever it is, if you change that emotional reaction to be neutral, like the bathroom door, then the thoughts change, and also your reactions to that person will change, or your reactions to the things that they do will change. Likewise, to events which occurred in your past, if you change your emotional reaction to these, your thought patterns around those events change, and so too then do your behaviors or your reactions to them or to the triggers. So really, by emotionally healing, it creates space, mentally and emotionally. And with that space, you then build up the positive ways of feeling. That's when you work on your self-confidence, on your self-esteem, on being positive, on getting happy and being more happy, remembering that you can't be happy 100% of the time, because if you could, how would you know what happiness is? So being more happy. If you go from a bad relationship and try and find another relationship to knock out the way that you're feeling, like I said, it's not ideal, and it's probably not going to work. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you really need to work on you. If you've experienced significant emotional pain, it's important to heal yourself, emotionally. For some people, just talking about this and venting will work, but for most people, they need to do something different which allows the emotions to shift and to change or to be neutralized. As I mentioned, then that changes the thoughts, so what you think about yourself, what you think about your past, and then that therefore changes how you react. From that point, you can build up your self-confidence and your self-worth and all those other things that I mentioned that are positive. Then that changes who you are. Then your brain is filtering your world, your reality differently, so that when you go looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right, you are in a far better place than you perhaps are right now in this state of negativity, in this bad place. So heal yourself emotionally first. Then build up your confidence, your self-worth, and work on, and trust too is a big one. And once you've built up all of those positive resources, then it puts you in a better frame of mind to move forward confidently and to have more logic and reasoning when meeting someone. So you're not just, feeling these feelings like, oh, this person's going to save me and I'm not going to feel all this crap anymore. And instead, you can still have those feelings, but it's like, I'm actually noticing a certain trigger, or I'm noticing a certain trait that this person has. It's similar to what I experienced in the past. And that seems like an alarm bell to me. Maybe they're not right. And you can analyze it with more logic and reasoning. I hope that all makes sense. Feel free to message me any questions or comment with this video if you have any questions. If you'd like to know how I help people emotionally heal in these situations to be able to then build up their confidence, and I help them do that too in the self-esteem and the self-worth, in order to then move forward confidently and have this clear logic and reasoning, feel free to message me or go ahead and book a free strategy session call with me, and we'll talk in more detail about how my approach can help you with this so that you can move forward confidently and you can make these right decisions and not fall into the trap perhaps that you've done multiple times in the past. With all that said, thanks so much for watching. I hope this has helped. Bye for now.